Hey guys, welcome to Video Game Corner. It's me, Jason, and welcome to another one of my vlogs. I've been working on some other ideas. That's why I haven't had a whole lot of videos up. I'm actually going to start this week. After today, I'm going to be doing more video work. I've been talking to, as you guys know, Robert Santellan, who has a channel here. I'll put his link to his channel in my description. He and I have been talking, and he's been wanting to do a podcast for a while. So he asked me to be his co-host, and this Friday we're going to be recording the first episode. We've already done all the testing and everything. He's putting together all the, all the little details. So it's going to be hosted on his channel, but I will be talking about it every week. And we're going to go over different gaming subjects. It's going to be a lot of fun. We sat on Skype the other night for a couple hours talking about different things related to it. So it's pretty fun because he and I text back and forth pretty much every day. So we become pretty good friends. I'm pretty excited about it. I wanted to do a podcast myself, which I still may or may not do. With a different group of people, just because I like to work with different opinions. Also, some of these guys we may just bring into our podcast and just keep it all as one thing. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. But anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. I look forward to it. The plan is to do it Friday and then Saturday night have it posted on his channel. So if that's the case, I will have a video up Saturday morning letting you all know. So let's move on to some other stuff I've been doing. I went to GameStop the other day and I finally put my $25 deposit down on the Dark Souls 2 Collector's Edition. And it's going to be really cool. I'm going to do an unboxing and show some gameplay when I get it. And it's got a little statue of the Warrior Knight, which is seems to be the main character they're showing for the game. Which is pretty cool, and it is like my favorite character in the game, but I may not play him first, just because everyone else is going to be doing it, so every time you summon someone, you're going to see nothing but Warrior Knights. That's my guess on it. I mean, you're going to have other people, but I think I want to try maybe playing. I also like I think it's the Elite, it's the Temple Knight. He looks really cool. And he's covered in, he has like a big helmet, and then he's covered in like blue cloaks over his armor, but he carries a halberd, I think, at first. I'm not sure, I have to check. But I don't like the halberd, I'm just not good with the pole weapons. So I'll probably swap it out for a sword. The really cool thing is when I went down there, Lorenzo, who my buddy down there that works there, gave me this. And it's the promo Castlevania 2 Lords of Shadow poster he got for the store. He gave me that because he had another one, so I got the extra. So I was pretty excited about that. I'm gonna frame it and put it up somewhere in the apartment. So it's pretty cool to get that kind of stuff. I guess they're giving away when you order the game. They're going to be giving away a. It's like a poster that looks just like that, but I think it's a lot smaller for people who get the game. So I got the big one, so I'm pretty happy about that. Oh, also it comes with the collector's edition. There's an art book which I'm looking forward to with all the the different type of because they always put in the art books. They always put the drawings and the art, the concept art that didn't make it in the game, and some of it's a lot cooler. And you're like, why didn't this get put in? There's a video I saw for Dark Souls on games, on armor sets and weapons and stuff that didn't make it in the game, and one of them is this bear outfit, and it looks so cool. And it should have been in the game, I think, but, it wasn't. It's still in the code, I guess. But it'd be neat if they actually put a patch in to, bring it out, so they could do it. I think they can do that. I don't know. I'm sure they can. But yeah, there's all sorts of cool stuff going on. I play a lot of Demon Souls, and I play a lot of Dark Souls, a lot of Demon Souls. I'm trying. The people ask me. They've been asking me lately. Well, why do you play the game so much? And I'm like, thing is, it's one of those games where every time you play you build a different character. It's like playing a whole new game. And I just tell them I just haven't finished it yet. And I've put about 300 hours into it, but the game's that good. And so is Demon's Souls. I've been playing through Demon's Souls again. And I've beat Demon's Souls twice and Dark Souls 3 times. And there's been characters I haven't really finished working with yet that I'm not very good at sorcery characters. I'm trying to learn how to play them. And I have this sorcery build I've been working on, and he's not as good as I'd like him, but I don't know. I'm just not very good with sorcery. I like to get up and personal with the sword and take out. I mean, I did do a dexterity build finally, and that was a lot of fun. I used the Baldur side sword that I had to farm for about an hour and a half, and I had a Baldur shield that they get from the. There's 3 different Baldur knights in this in the Undead Parish, and they're the only 3 that carry the sword and the shield, and you have to. And it's a rare drop to get that. I had tons of their armor by the time I was done, but I ended up getting their shield and sword, and I actually got a second sword and a second shield. I went and got the second sword, and I built it as a fire side sword, and then I upgraded the original side sword completely. So I have both swords upgraded, fire and regular, and the regular still does more damage than the fire so far. But because the reason I did it is because I guess the final boss, Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, is supposed to be susceptible to fire. But I have a feeling that my regular sword's going to end up doing more damage. But I'll see. I'll go ahead and play. And see what happens. I'll try it with the fire sword, and then if it doesn't do enough damage in the first playthrough, maybe I'll equip both swords and just see which one works better. I don't know. I also hear occult weapons work really well with them, so I'm going to be doing. I just started a faith build character, so you build the faith because you use divine weapons, which are based on faith, and then you can turn them into occult weapons. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm going to be. We're getting our tax return soon, and because my girlfriend, she gets a tax return, not me, because I'm on disability, so I don't get anything. So my girlfriend's tax return's coming back soon, and we were talking, and we're going to go ahead and put the money out for a better DVD recorder. The one I have is an older VHS DVD recorder, and I paid like $100 for it a while back last year. And it works really well, except it doesn't have an HDMI hookup. So I want to get something a little better with an HDMI hookup. So I want to do that so I can start recording better quality stuff off the PS3, because I want to do a Dark Souls 2 playthrough, my first time ever playing it, which is just me never seeing anything, only a few things, and just going through the game. And I think it'll be funny because you'll be seeing me, fall on my face a lot and dying. And I'm not going to just keep recording every single, time I go through. I'll kind of cut them together so it doesn't, because it gets boring just seeing me die constantly. But yeah, I'm going to do, and I'll do commentary with it and everything. So it'll be kind of funny to see me, go through a game the very first time blind, not knowing what's ahead. So that way I can, you just see what, I think it'll be fun. Because I'm not into doing playthroughs, but this is something that I think would be funny. So, because, when you play through these games the first time, you die and die and die because you don't know what's going on, and new characters, and it's pretty funny. And then after, you've played them for a while, then you're just killing these characters like they're nothing. And that's what you usually see on playthroughs. The guy's played through the game enough times, and he goes through, and he could sit there and just play through it and not ever really get killed too much, or, if at all. And he's just, no big deal, just goes on through, and yeah, I can't do that. I just think those get kind of boring unless you're using them for I need a walkthrough help. So, but yeah, I want to do my own little spin on it. I'm sure it's not my own, but anyway. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing with that. I picked up some metal from Home Depot, some sheet metal, because I've been working on my design for that gauntlet I want to make. And I picked up a glove for the glove piece of it, because you got to put a glove, and then you build the fingers and the knuckle plate and thumb plate all into the glove. and then you have the rest of the piece that goes up the forearm. But I did figure out the design I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it like scales. I did this, but I think I'm going to, they'll probably end up being closer to like this. You guys can see that. And basically what's going to be is it's going to go over my arm like so. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. But here, I know what I can do. I'm going to pull it from underneath. Okay, so it's going to be like that. If you guys can see that. And it's basically going to overlap like scales. So you'll always see the point coming down off of everything. And it's going to be pointed all the way up, just the points pointing down to my arm. And yeah, it's going to look like scales. And then the fingers and everything are all going to do the same thing. The knuckle plate's going to have a few pieces. And I'll have to epoxy them after I get them all bent and shaped right. And then I was also thinking that if it comes out all right, then I'll make a second one for my other arm, and then I can start making leggings and maybe eventually a helmet, a chest piece, chest and back plate, maybe. I don't know. The thing about my body being so big, I'll have to just make this big piece of metal basically to cover it up, and it may not look right. So hopefully I can lose enough weight by the time because I'm going to do the chest and back plate last. I'm going to do the gauntlets and the leggings first, because my lower legs from my knee down are all muscle. I don't have hardly any fat there. So the good thing is if I lose weight, that'll stay pretty much the same. I'll probably lose a little muscle, but not too much. So, but then it's all about just tightening up the straps, because you have leather straps that go around the back. And then I'll also do, like I said, I'll do the leggings. And then I'll do the breastplate last, and the back plate, and then the cod piece and all that will be. I'll probably do that last too, because if I can lose enough weight, because I've been working on my weight, but I tried to take a new approach. Instead of thinking of it as a diet, I just started saying I need to get my calories and the foods I eat to a certain point. And once I get to that point, that's where I'm going to stay. So I've been cutting out, I cut out energy drinks completely, because I was getting little heart problems with that. Because, they say, well, your heart's fine, but it's everything around your heart. But I figured, energy drinks aren't good for you anyway. And it's just a lot of just crap in your system that you shouldn't be having. So I cut that out. I still drink diet soda because I like it, but I think it's a lot better than drinking that stuff. Or maybe it's not, but from a weight loss standpoint, it's better. I also cut out, candy, snacks, all that kind of stuff. And my weight's been just kind of dropping without me even trying, just because I've been just eating just regular food and making sure I don't overdo it. Then the next step is to just get my calorie counts and just keep trimming where I can. I'm just trying to stay focused. And once I get focused, then the weight will just start coming off. That's how I did it last time when I lost, over 100 pounds. I just focused a little bit at a time, and so that's what I'm doing now. And then once I get in my groove and everything clicks, then I'll be fine. The weight will just come off, and then before you know it, I'll be, thin again, thinner. So, but anyway, I want to make the armor. But, I've got to learn a lot about stuff. I'll be going through a lot of trial and error with the metal, because I'm debating how to make a helmet. Because I've got to, it's got to be curved, but I was thinking about doing it in strips of metal. Making strips and then bending them and then putting pieces over them in like a design maybe. I thought about doing something to where I do like an under helmet where it's got like all the pieces sticking out, and then I was going to cover it in the scales, because I want to do like the scale theme with the entire set. So I was thinking about doing the scales, and epoxying them in. And that way, and then you have like a base underneath that's been kind of pieced together and curved. So if it's just by itself, it looks like crap. But then when you cover it with all the design work, it looks a lot better. At least that's my hope. And then it'd be nice to take it to go to a Renaissance fair or something, and Halloween and all that, to be able to wear it. Otherwise, it's just a dusty showpiece in your house. and I'd like to actually wear it to places, and like I'd like to go to, like they said, the Renaissance fairs and see if anybody comments on it or whatever. But I also thought about looking up my family crest, which is Moore. And I know there is a family, I know we have one. I remember we used to have a coffee cup with it. And I want to get the family crest and maybe do like maybe a little cape for it, and then do a cape with the family crest on it, or something with the family crest. Maybe I'll do a shield with it. Because I also wanted to take, I also want to do some wooden shields. Except the thing is, I don't have a place to like bend the wood, so I may have to do flat shields for now. But I've got different ideas. So, but you can also do like a flat shield, and then you can take like a piece of leather and have the crest put on it, and then you stretch it over and then hammer it on the piece of wood, and it's all shaped. It'll look really nice. But I'm getting different ideas on what I want to do. So I prefer to have a curved shield, but a flat shield may not be too bad. But I also there's other things I can do, because I know some shields they have kind of they kind of shape like that. They come at an angle, and you can kind of sand the wood to give it the appearance and use wood filler. I mean, you can do a lot of things, because it's not a battle piece. It's more of it's a show piece, so you're not going to be using it in battle, so it doesn't have to stand up against being hit for real. It's not what it's for. The other thing is like I've been doing, I've been getting back into watching a lot of Game of Thrones, because I want to start doing some Game of Thrones videos. I love the show. I've read like a fourth of the first book. I need to get back and finish reading the whole series and just read it. And because it's the first book, it was really good. I'm about 200, almost 300 pages in, and I just kept putting it down. Not because I didn't like it, just because I get distracted with video games and stuff. But I need to sit down and just really just push through and read it and make the time, because I know I love the series. I love reading it. But the thing about the first book is it's not as exciting as I know the others tend to get, because I mean, based on the seasons I've watched, the first season isn't exciting, but the second season really starts to get going, and the third season, because I know the third season and the fourth season are going to be, for book 3. And here's the thing, I want to get to where, I want to do, when the new season comes out, I'm going to be doing recaps every episode. I'm also going to be doing a little analyzing of each of the characters in the show, and just kind of giving my opinion. And, it's one of those things where I just want to whoever's a Game of Thrones fan can get in, watch it, and contribute, I hope, in the comments, things like that. So, and then I'm also going to be talking about maybe some movies and stuff, because I love science fiction, I love fantasy. I love more like, the fantasy I like is more like the medieval fantasy, instead of like the really off the wall, like the crazy. The fantasy I don't really get into is like where it gets just so like off the wall, for me at least. I like stuff that centers more closer to reality fantasy. That's what I like. Like I don't mind dragons, stuff like that, but I just really like the whole medieval. I love weaponry, and I love armor, and I think all that stuff's really cool. So I love to see just the way, and I like the more realistic stuff. Like Game of Thrones feels more realistic, like the way people would have been. Because you looked at the old movies, and all these knights had these silver shining suits of armor, and everything was clean, and everybody had a clean outfit. And then you watch Game of Thrones, and everybody's dirty. Even like the nicest looking knight, he's dirty, because things were dirty back then, and being clean wasn't exactly. He's like when you watch an old western, and the streets are always so clean, and everybody's so clean, and then you see like Deadwood, and everybody's dirty, everybody's in the mud, and it's more realistic as the way things would be, and that's what I try to. That's what I lean towards. So. But yeah, otherwise, I've also been working on that story I told you about with the Dark Souls story. I'm working on. I got a little bit of it written. I'm working on. I don't want to push through it too fast for the first part. I want it to be decent. I don't want it to be you know, you want to flesh it out right, just a certain way. So that's my goal. But anyway, that's all that's going on. I can't really think of anything else. So yeah, guys, check out the. I'll keep you updated on the podcast, and it's going to be called Just Another Gamers podcast. We were going to go for Just Another Gaming Podcast, but it was that was taken. So we were having trouble with the name, so we just decided. I mean, we can always change it later, right? I mean, we do what we want. But so it's Just Another Gamers Podcast. And I'll have all the links and stuff when I actually, you know, when we get it all done for the first episode. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for today. And I'm Jason, and this is Video Game Corner, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.